Welcome to day number 2 of the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. I am your host, Ian Baker, and I am joined today by 2 traveling dogs, Follow Your Detour, and the Jergies. Guys. How about day 1? How awesome was last night? Favorite parts? Let's hear it.
My favorite part really was just hanging with everybody, man. It was just hanging out and things like that, you know? I know you're going to say that you like Jake Owen, but I'm going to say, I'm not going to mention Jake Owen, but I am going to say,
the reason why our husband's missing right now. Just kidding.
Is Dan hanging out with Jake Owen? Is that what's happening?
There's a story there, but we'll leave that.
There's a story. I'm curious now. After we cut, gotta hear it. Yep.
Yeah, so obviously that's my answer. I loved the Jake Owen concert. Big country music fan. It was awesome. Being on the beach.
Yeah.
Great way to kick off the event.
As my boy Chris Young says, that boy can play. Bryce Nelly, how about you?
You know, I really love the panel just because, we full-time RV, but we still learned so much from each and every one of everybody,
Yes.
So it was awesome just learning more and getting to know everybody a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there was a lot there, right? From very heartfelt moments to some great tips. And anyone that's watching, especially if you're new to RVing, you get to learn a ton. My personal favorite, guys, and again, maybe this is just me, I really like that Apollo boat.
No, that seems like a heartfelt moment for you. You seem to have some relationship with this boat.
I know. I tell you
That's
what,
what I
at
was
the end
gonna
of this
say.
show, I'm going to be driving off in that thing. I'm just going to go. You won't see me.
But do you want to ride?
That's right. Our dogs want to ride in the boat. So if you're in the boat, you're going to have to take the dogs with you, man.
I'm in. But here's the coolest thing, too, is not only do I love the boat, I'm sure people watching at home do as well. And, you guys, we're going to give away 2 boats. 2 Apollo boats. All you have to do is go to show.campingworld.com. Make sure you register to be entered. We're giving away 2 Apollo boats plus an RV. And if you don't like those odds, if you want to increase your odds a little bit, well, we have a fun little competition, guys. It's going to be starting today. And so everyone at home, all you have to do is follow everyone up here on stage, plus Soulful RV family, because whoever wins the Ultimate Outdoor Olympics gets to give away an Apollo boat to one of their followers. But you have to follow to be able to win that boat. You guys, I'm super pumped what everything we got happening today. You guys ready?
Same.
No, I'm not very excited.
You're not ready? No?
No, I am so ready. We're all ready for this, man.
It's on tonight in the competition.
No, I gotta go straight.
I'm not messing with her.
All right, well, I'm going to kick it over to my good man, Chris Young. Going to kick off day number 2. So you've been doing some research, right? You're out there doing a little bit of shopping, thinking, man, I really just want to get on the lake, enjoy that lake life. And again, you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. You found the perfect one. You found the boat. You found the perfect price. You got the deal. You pulled the trigger, and now you go, oh crap, what do I need? Right? Hopefully we can get a few things. Some of the things aren't going to be quite as fun, right? It's going to be safety stuff that we don't necessarily want to talk about. It's not glamorous. It's not, again, right, super fun, but it is stuff that you need to have. One of the things I do recommend, and here I'll show you this real quick, just starting off. There's a really handy dandy app, and if you haven't used it, I highly recommend it. It's from the United States Coast Guard. And folks, this right here, when you're talking about safety, is a big deal. What this is going to do for you, you can see that it will have state by state information on there. You can also create your own float plan. That's going to be important. Make sure you're safe when you're going out there and people know where you're going to be at. But we also want to have some stuff on our boat for safety. And one of the things that immediately comes to people's mind is this right here. I'm talking about life jackets, right? And there's going to be all sorts of different sizes, a couple different classes as well. You're basically going to have class 1 through, there's like a class 4, 5 technically out there for some hybrids, but what you're going to want to know is it starts at 1. 1 is going to be the most protective. It's going to be also going to be the bulkiest. If you're on rough open seas, you're going to want a type 1. If you're on an inland lake, type 2 will generally do the trick. Now, bear in mind, you want to make sure that you're following state legislation. Like I said, I'm from Michigan, and for any child under 6, it has to be a 1 or 2. You can't have a type 3. And you want to make sure that you have one of these for every person that is on board. And they have to be accessible. That's a big one too. I've seen people where they buy a pack of 6, right? Like, oh, I got everything. Toss it right in here, you're good to go, all set, and it's still in the packaging, and then they get a fine. And why is that? Well, the reason being is because it's not accessible. You want to make sure that you're able to have it at the ready. More importantly, especially for kids, highly, highly recommend just having it right on them. But we have all sorts of different colors, different colors to choose from. Do you want red? Do you want blue? Do you want pink? You want yellow? We got them in all sorts of different sizes. That is one of the things you are going to need right away. What else? Still on the safety. Air horn. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be an air horn. It can be a whistle. It can be a bell, but it has to be something that is loud and is audible. A regular voice just isn't going to cut it. And the reason for this, and it's one of those things people don't think about a lot, but if you're in the unfortunate circumstance where you're dead in the water and it's foggy out, if you're under 40 foot, I think it's technically 39 foot 4 inches, but we'll call it under 40, you have to have this on board, and it can be a lifesaver. And these ones right here, you will see this one is built for marine, and folks, it is loud. I always recommend, if you have this, I know I have it stored in here, but make sure it's not somewhere the kiddos can grab it, because you don't want them blasting the ears, doing any kind of ear damage. But that is one of those things you are certainly going to want. Another one, and this does come standard on a lot of boats, but you want to make sure you have it, and that is a marine grade fire extinguisher. This will help you with electric, right? If there's an electric fire, this one right here is gonna make sure you're safe. And again, you wanna have this on board. It is a requirement, definitely something that you don't want to miss out on. Another one, get right into it. Walkie-talkies. This is more for fun, right? I threw this in there as an essential, but it for me, when I go out, a lot of times, right, we'll go back and forth. Maybe someone's back at the dock. Maybe we have 2 boats going out, want to be able to talk to each other, or maybe I'm sitting out on an island, right, and I have this bad boy. I want to talk to the boat to come pick me back up. This right here is something I threw in. It is just a good idea to have so you can talk to anyone else if they're out on the lake with you. Let's come right around, dive into here. An absolute must-have is an anchor. This one's your mushroom anchor, pretty standard. Just gonna take a line, tie it on there, drop this one down. Speaking of line, also have a couple different types of line. You have dock line. I recommend grabbing about 6 of these. You'll also have your fender line. We have some fenders in here, I'll show you in a little bit, but you're gonna wanna make sure you have those too. So if you are partying, right, hanging out, you connect to another boat, that way you're not bumping into each other, keeping the boat safe. And this one, of course, will be for a little bit of docking. Moving in further. Yeah, all right, see if we can get this guy out. So right here, it's gonna be your fender. Just talk about pretty standard stuff. You can see a nice thick line on there, drop her down. That way, as I said, if you're coming up to another boat, both will be good to go. Let's say you're out boating though, and then you're all done. What are you gonna need? A little bit of boat wash. Folks, a little maintenance can go a long way. One of the things you have with boats, right, you have all these vinyl seats. They are out in the sun all day long. And as we know, UV can be very damaging. So you want to make sure, keep everything nice and clean, keep it fresh. This one right here, this product will clean everything basically from the top down. I mean, it is a great product. But again, you want to make sure you keep everything nice and clean, especially if you don't cover it, right? You're going to get rain, dirt, everything else on there. Clean it up. This is a big one. My wife absolutely loves these. These are the sunscreen towels. Great for kids, folks. If you don't have them, highly recommend picking them up. Not only is it a towel, obviously, to dry off, you're gonna want some towels on the boats, but more importantly, at least in my mind, is the fact that they are 50 plus, right, for the UPF rating, to make sure that, the kids aren't gonna get burnt. I just throw it on, good to go. We've had it before where, the kids are up here to throw a towel on, but it's so stinking hot. And is it really protecting them from the UV rays? This one right here, they work fantastic. Bunch of different patterns on there too. They're super fun. And this has been some great stuff, right? But Ian, this is all in the water. What about outside, right? This is in the boat. We want to get in the water. That's why we have a boat. This right here is really cool, and this one is by O'Brien. Thing I love about this is it's just comfortable to sit on. It's kind of like an upgraded pool noodle, right? You have a standard pool noodle, jump out there, you float on it. Okay, that's all right. But this saddle right here fits perfectly. I'm not saying it's from experience, but I will say if you read the reviews, with this one right here, they say that it will support you well enough that you can hold a beverage in hand without spilling it. And for me, that's a big deal. Maybe you're different, but that guy right there, good stuff. And, another thing, we talk about getting in the water. let's talk a little about water sports. I know a lot of us out there, we get a boat so we can get out on the water, have those sports, right? Tow a bunch of stuff behind us. Doesn't matter what kind of boat you have, we're on a pontoon boat right here, you can still have some excellent water sports. Of course, depending on the motor size, how you configure it, but we can definitely make it happen. Now, this one right here, my good friend Jace just talked about this and he goes, where was this when I was a kid, right? And he's absolutely right. This is awesome. This is a ski trainer. If you have little kids, you're just getting into it. You want to start making those memories. I don't know about you folks at home, but when I had to learn to water ski, it wasn't necessarily the best experience, right? It's just my dad yelling at me to stand up and I can't, yelling at me to stop making my legs split. Well, that's what happens. It's hard. But as a kid, this right here will make sure the legs don't split. It's easier for them to get up. This is a fantastic thing. Highly, highly recommend if you're looking to, again, get into that water skiing life. Start to get a little more advanced. We have a wakeboard. Cool thing, this is a super fun sport, right? Nice big handle on here. This one, I personally love for this reason right here, folks. There is no stretch in this line. That's a big deal, right? When you're wakeboarding in this main line, you don't want that thing to be stretching. You don't want it to snap. You don't want to, have that kind of pull back on you. A, for the person who's riding on the wakeboard, and B, if it lets go, you don't want that thing to fly right back at the boat, right? Because that's where it's coming. And so that's, if we're cruising, we're having a good time, but let's say you don't want to ski. Let's say you don't want to wakeboard. Maybe there's something else out there for you. Maybe, if you're like me, you want to just chill in a tube. What do you say we check some out? And this is what I'm talking about. Now, granted, we have quite a bit here, right? Most people probably aren't going to have as many products as we have, unless you're just having a party, want everyone to be comfortable. But this is fantastic, folks. There are so many options when it comes to fun in the water. Right here, the Splash Island. This one's awesome because it's super easy setup. Comes in a big roll. Can fit it right here on the boat. You don't have to inflate it. You just unroll it, throw it on the water. You can have 5, 6 people on here hanging out. Super comfortable. It is strong enough you can actually run on it too. If you want to lay out, great. That's why my wife loves it. Kids love it because they're running and playing. She loves it. She gets to lay out on it. Awesome product. Tubes. I talked about tubes. Here we go. Nautica tube, baby. I don't know about you guys, I grew up with Nautica brand. I had the clone all through high school. It smelled great. You know what else? They also make great water products. That's where the name came from, am I wrong? So there it is. We have a single person tube. Now, it's gonna kind of be a little bit of a basic option when it comes to tube. That's gonna be for one single rider. Very well built, super durable. You have the nylon cover on there. You can see the neoprene hand guards to make sure that as you're gripping on, you're not rubbing the knuckles raw, because that's the last thing in the world we want. Nautica's a quality brand. They make quality products. That single person one is phenomenal. Let's say you got 2 kiddos. Maybe you want another one. There you go. Got a little bit bigger tube right there. You can fit 2 people on it. Quick valve, quick dump valve to fill and dump that out. Why is that important? Well, because maybe you don't want to haul your tubes back and forth. Maybe, you just don't have a ton of space because you have a lot of people on the boat. That's what pontoon boats are all about, right? Is partying, hanging out, having lots of people. So you may not have space for a lot of tubes, but that's okay because when you get there, you can just plug in your 12-volt little inflation device, inflate that bad boy, you are good to go when you're done. Just let it right out and you are all set. Now, maybe you have that, right? You have the little air pump, the air compressor, and you say, well, you know what? I like the Splash Island, but I want something just a little bit sturdier. That's when you have this right here. This Nautica inflatable is phenomenal. I've played on this personally. My father-in-law has one, and I'm telling you folks, you can run around, you can dance on that thing. The kids like to play a little bit of King of the Hill or King of the Water, King of the Lake, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it, because I call that fun, and that's exactly what we have right there. Now, we talked a little bit about tubes. We talked about 2 people, and 2 people is great. Absolutely fantastic. But what makes it a little more fun? 3. That's what I've been told. Here we go. There it is, 3 people. Cool thing about this one, folks, this is the Gladiator Motion 3. Now, out of a lot of the products we have here, a lot of the riding products, this one is actually one of my personal favorites. And why is that? Well, the reason it's called the Motion 3 is because you get different motion. Do you want to pull it like a normal tube with 3 people? You can. It's got a nice, comfortable backrest right there. Again, you have the neoprene, so you're not scraping knuckles, good grips. But why else do I love it? Because I don't know about your kids, but my 15-year-old thinks he is the best thing on the water. He thinks he's amazing. And if you want to really throw him for a loop, you can tow that one backwards. You just hook that bad boy up, you go, and let's see how well they hold on then, right? Then you can't see you coming. Go ahead, hop up on your knees, buddy. It's a good time. I certainly enjoy it. Right next to that is the Gladiator Maxim 3. That one's fun too because you don't have the backrest, folks. So many great products right here. Doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Lake life is a party, boating is a party, and you need to make sure you have your essentials. So as you can see, there's a ton to offer, folks, and if you're looking to get into it, simply visit Overtons.com and we'll get you all set.
Leave your routine on the shoreline. Launch into the best days of summer with Overtons. The only place you need for everything boating, water sports, fishing, and more. Visit Overtons.com, the nation's largest water sports and marine accessories dealer for everything you need for life on the water.